All right, let's talk about Tank Bigsby. Tank Bigsby, a player who got some criticism when he was drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars. A lot of people said, oh, classic Trent Baalke drafting Tank Bigsby, just drafting a running back. He loves to draft running backs, which, okay, I'm not saying that's an unfair criticism, but they did draft Bigsby in the third round here. And let's talk about what he did. You look at his Pro Football Focus grades, he only really had one game that he got significant playing time on. He had a game with 9 snaps, a game with 16 snaps, and then 27 snaps was the real game. And that's the game, not the real game, but the game where he got a real amount of snaps and kind of the main game we're going to be talking about here. You also see the PFF grade in that game significantly higher than the small sample size other two games. But yeah, let's talk about the film and what he did well. Let's start off with this play. It's going to be an interesting play where it's going to be a designed run to get Bigsby towards the outside, and it feels like that's a lot of what they want from Bigsby. They want him to be a guy who can get to the outside, get in open space. They feel like that's where he can thrive, and you'll see why once we start showing these plays. Where, again, the way it's designed to work, he's going to run towards the bottom of the screen, actually going to end up going in between the tackle and the guard. Like, watch how you're going to see. Tackle does a good job of moving the edge rusher further towards the outside. Bigsby gets past the edge rusher, and it's at this point where, again, worth noting the situation, 3rd down and 18 right here. This is solely just pick up the yards you can pick up. The odds of a first down seem very slim, although, again, if you feel like you can make a move and try to get the first down, certainly go for it, but the chances of that happening are small. So, for Bigsby, what should he do? I mean, I kind of feel like a lot of running backs might just get tackled right here. There's the Detroit Lion defender who's moving closer in as an offensive lineman. Didn't do a great job of getting in the way. I'm not sure exactly if he read the play properly because kind of got in a weird spot here. However, Bigsby instead goes further towards the sideline and is able to pick up a little bit more yards right there. Nothing crazy, and again, it still results in a punt either way, but 5 yards of field position still matters. There's still value in getting that, and obviously what we're mostly evaluating with these plays isn't necessarily how much did it help them out in week 2 of the preseason, but how much will he help out Jacksonville as the season progresses when he gets playing time, and that play was good. This play was also interesting. So it's a designed run to the left. That's the way this play is supposed to work. He's supposed to go towards the offense's left. However, when he eventually gets the ball right here, it's kind of been blown up. Looks like it was actually a blitzing linebacker. I'm not sure if it was just a run blitz or just coincidence, but either way, you have disruption right here. Bigsby should not go in that direction. I mean, he could, I guess. Some coaches would still say if there's a wall, run into the wall, make sure you don't lose yards on that play. But Bigsby's going to say, hey, what am I good at? Getting towards the outside, making things happen that way. That's what he's going to look towards. The issue? That player right there, the Detroit edge rusher is, he has containment right here. So if you try to get all the way to the outside, it could create some issues. So this is the dilemma. Do you bounce things to the outside or do you not? Well, I already told you Bigsby is going to, so how does it work? Watch how when he gets to the outside, he's able to really blow by the edge rusher and even makes a little bit of a move to get by the other player who was getting blocked at the next level. We're now in a situation where a defensive back has gotten over. It was already a good run from Bigsby. He turned a 0-yard run into a 10-plus yard run and a first down. You'll take that 10 out of 10 times. But here's the other thing I like about what Bigsby is going to do on this play. How many players would just go out of bounds? Don't worry about it. Just run out of bounds. That's it. You could do that. There's no real shame in doing that at this point. But Bigsby says, hey, I'm a running back. I'm supposed to be, running into contact right here. So why just, leave yards on the table? It's a smaller player than me. Let's see what I can do. Instead of stepping out at the 30, he kind of puts his shoulder down, ends up going out at about the 35-yard line. Again, that's just 5 free yards that he just took up just with extra hustle, with extra, work. He was able to get it. He took a hit for it, but even the hit wasn't really that dangerous of a hit, and he picked up a decent amount more yards. So that's just something that, again, you like to see out of a running back. A play like this was another interesting one where what's going to happen is it's going to be a designed run towards the bottom of the screen. That's the way this play works for Bigsby. Again, getting him outside the tackles. That's what they want to do. And Jacksonville likes to do that just in general. Like they do that with ETN a decent amount as well. But okay, you have an offensive lineman who's going to pull over and he's actually going to block the edge rusher right here. Kind of a unique concept, but let's see how it works. Well, once again, you're going to see that Bigsby gets the snap, and it was really well blocked on the edge. Now, there's an issue. There is a Detroit Lion player who has read this play. It's the linebacker trying to get over and seeing if he can get in position to make the play. That's what he's attempting to do here. This is Jack Campbell, who, admittedly isn't known for his speed, but still, all he has to do is reach out and, grab Bigsby, and Bigsby won't be able to pick up many yards on this play. Instead, Bigsby just has that acceleration to get by and ends up picking up 15 yards on that play. He turned what, again, some lesser running backs might not have even been able to turn a, 2 or 3 yard gain into an explosive play, into 15 yards. And when we talk about, do running backs have value? And if they do have value, how much value do they have? Well, this is a clear example of him having value. Also, this was a very interesting play, because this is another one that kind of starts off like it's a disaster. Like, you don't think it's going to go too well, where it's designed handoff just sort of, right up the gut here, basically, in between. Looks like the main way he wants to go is in the A gap to the left, so in between the center and the guard. Right when this play begins, though, you see that there doesn't seem to be a ton of space in between that area. But what else do you do? Again, you could bounce things to the outside, but there always is that risk if you try to make something like that happen. Watching this, just, in general, it doesn't look like there's a ton of room. There's maybe exactly one running back length gap right there, so it feels like a defender could reach out and make a play. So if you're Bigsby, what do you do if you want to go through that gap? You got to go through it quickly. You got to just accelerate fast, get through it quickly, so, by the time someone does reach out and grab you, you've hopefully gained enough yards at that point to still turn it into a positive play. And as you see, that's exactly what he does. He does accelerate through it quickly, and he is able to pick up a decent play on that one. So once again, it's the acceleration of Tank Bigsby that he's really showing off in a major way on some of these plays. And like this one, again, it's, the way I kind of evaluate running backs is how much do you do above what the offensive line gives you. That's kind of how I view it, because you could just look at yards, but obviously there's so much variables that go into just yards, situation, how well things are blocked. That's honestly the main contributing factor in how many yards a running back gets. That and just good old-fashioned, how often do you get the football? Those are kind of the main factors there. What I tend to look at is not just bulk stats or even yards per carry, but how many yards did you get above what I think you should have gotten on a specific play? Watch how when this play begins, Bigsby runs towards the middle, but that gap that he was trying to run through is completely closing. An interior defensive lineman has gotten off his block, and Bigsby is in trouble. But instead, watch him be able to shift over, and then he runs forward and picks up a positive play on that one. Was that an incredible play? No. And you will see some plays where you get more yards, where he doesn't even have to get touched until he gets tackled. But at the same time, to me, these are the more impressive plays, and the plays I look at, and the plays I would say add more value to a football team from a running back's perspective. The ones where you turn negative plays into positive plays, which is what he did there. So for me, this was a very good play. It was a very good game. I watched the other games just to get a full sample size, and I didn't think he was bad in those games. I think there just wasn't that much he could do in a lot of those situations. To me, this was the game where he had the most to do, and he made the most of it. So impressive game for Bigsby, and we'll see how he does in the regular season. That's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.